Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I am Carrie Freeman, the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. I'm sort of solo on this channel. It's Monday, June 26th, and these are the weekly runes, and I've added a little bit of commentary because so much stuff is going on. And what am I? What do I do when I'm not here? I am what I call a change agent. I help people change. I help people solve problems. Some are small, some are big, and it works pretty quickly, actually, the process. I do it through therapeutic hypnosis, which I've been doing for 20 years, and psychic intuitive coaching. And sometimes when people come to me for therapeutic hypnosis, the psychic stuff bubbles up. So sometimes you get a twofer with that, but I do both. And I also have a Patreon channel, which you can look below and find it. And I do some interesting material on there for $8 a month, and you can join and quit at any time. So what I do here normally when I'm just doing news is I disseminate all kinds of news information, add the psychic commentary, and I throw runes. Try to make it entertaining. And this is for entertainment purposes only. And yes, this is a new hat. Bought it online, put it on, and I went, wow, that's big. But it was like, it made me happy. And it's kind of fun, silly maybe a little bit. So I bought the hat. There you go. All right. Weekly runes. The runes from today through next Sunday are interesting. So the first rune I pulled was the rune Journey reversed. All right. So this tells us there is a quickening of developments. And certainly we saw that over the weekend. You may have reason to halt even during a period of accelerated growth. Hasty decisions may cause regrets. So we must be methodical, and everybody must be methodical this week. And notice that Joe Biden and his team have been very quiet, purposely. And they've been watching from Camp David and receiving intel. They know much more than we do. So I have some comments about the Russian semi-coup, attempted coup, in a few minutes. I'll keep going. And then we got the rune of disruption, which is all, it's also exciting. Change, freedom, invention are all aspects of disruption. It's saying that we are, or they are, I'm sorry, I lost my place here. They're breaking free from constricting identification. Things are changing, my friends. It is the great awakener, and it may take various forms, not just one form or one story. And it could be so powerful as to like rip away the fabric of what we previously knew or they previously knew. Then we got protection reversed. So the rune of protection tells us, look carefully at associations you form right now. You may see fit to become involved with people that are using you. Take responsibility for your own position. That just feels like it's Russian related. But then I wasn't really completely satisfied with these runes or cohesive with these runes. So I pulled a clarifier, and it was very interesting. It had a whole different energy, the clarifier. It is fertility. And fertility, not reversed, fertility upright. It's a new path. It's about harmonizing. It's a completion of beginnings. Change is in the offing, my friends. But now we, or you, have the strength to achieve some kind of completion. So it's almost like it struck me. This was just something that struck me. It's almost like there is a before Prigozhin, I pronounced it, and after Prigozhin. It feels like before and after. Now it's after. And we're not sure where he is. He's supposed to be in Belarus, but I have comments on this in a few minutes. So there's a gentleman named Simon Rosenberg, who's a Democrat and quite brilliant, esteemed. He ended this last year, but he was the founder of the New Democratic Network and New Policy Institute, a liberal think tank and advocacy group based in Washington, D.C. So he's been an analyst, and he's reliable and brilliant. And he brought us some good evidence, which I copied right off of Twitter to share with you. Biden, NBC polls, and there's not too many people that I would listen to about polls, except I trust Simon Rosenberg. He's quite impressive. Biden leads Trump right now 49-45. Trump leads over DeSantis double digits now. It was 46 Trump, 31 DeSantis, and now it's 51 Trump and 21 DeSantis. And DeSantis, this is exactly what I wanted. He's failing, he's dropping, and this is great. I'd actually rather deal with Trump than DeSantis, to be honest with you. And Simon said, it's funny, Simon Rosenberg said, DeSantis's negatives are dangerously low, or his negatives are high. It's kind of confusing, isn't it? This early in a campaign. I don't see, he keeps making terrible mistakes, and I don't see how he's going to move up. And frankly, that thrills me. He is a very serious fascist, in a way worse than Trump. So here we go. Biden leads with women 55-38. And he leads with 18 to 34-year-olds 65-30. That's Gen X, isn't it? Or some of it is Gen X. Latinos, 66-26. And independents, 47-33. And then in Congress, Dems are leading 48-46. It was 47-46. So the 47-46 was in January, and now the Dems are projected leading in the polls in Congress 48-46. And Simon said, these are good, strong numbers for Joe Biden. So I am so happy to share that with you. So I was listening to the news this morning, Morning Joe, and thank good Joe wasn't on this morning. It was just Mika. So there wasn't a lot of pontificating and interrupting. And one of my favorite people to watch is Navy Admiral Stavridis. He's an NBC analyst now. And he admits this morning, we really know very little at this point. And if you watch all the programs, basically everybody's saying, we just don't know that much. So everything's speculation, but I really have a lot of faith in Stavridis. So this is all from him this morning. I sort of copied it down. He quotes Napoleon Bonaparte, who was 5'5", known for being very, very short. And Napoleon said, never interrupt your enemy when he's making a serious mistake. And of course, that's about Prigozhin invading, wanting to get to Moscow and invade with his dissidents. So Putin made a speech pretty quickly. People thought it was artificial intelligence, but it was really him. And he said, basically, I'm going to crush this rebellion, like really strongman stuff. But within like 30 minutes, it changed. And he let Prigozhin free to move to Belarus. And there's an overall theory that Prigozhin got a tremendous amount of money to stop his Moscow invasion. We don't know, though. It's speculation. Now, I posted this like immediately, but then everybody, I'm not saying they were copying me, but everybody had the same thought. So the Admiral says, Prigozhin should not be standing anywhere near a third floor open window because oligarchs fall out of windows. This is true. That was my first thought. Stay away from the windows. And then don't drink any tea unless you make it yourself, because there's always poison. They like poison too. Admiral again. Putin is taking some hits. Admiral, I think the hits are quite serious, the Admiral said. Morale is down with Russian soldiers, and intel operations in Ukraine are very busy. They all have their cell phones and they're getting intel, they're getting information. In the meantime, there is tepid, meaning minimal, support from China and some conciliatory mealy statements coming out of Iran. So the support is very weak. The comments are very weak with people that Putin thought were close allies. They're kind of, because he's looking weaker. Admiral Sabridis. I have a problem here. I'm going to get this right. Stavridis says that in Ukraine they are all high-fiving each other, and that it's a very good day in Kyiv. Russia is diminished, and now the Russian people, because of Prigozhin, they're more informed now. They felt that they weren't trusting or liking this war, and many of their husbands and sons have been taken from them. So now this is a little different because they were welcoming Prigozhin. They were standing on the streets and welcoming him, not Putin. So this is just a huge intel opportunity also right now. And we wait because there is limited information. And I don't even feel like doing the runes at this point. I just want to watch and observe. There are these hints, and I think the Admiral gave us some good information. And I'm just reading my notes here because watching the news, everyone seems to be a bit confused. And Joe Biden has been in Camp David, very quiet, no statements, all weekend. Probably with his family, but also his team, watching every movement on the phone, talking, deciding or not deciding, okay? So they're on it. And this is just a little thing I noticed that confused me. It was in People magazine this morning, and People magazine this morning is claiming that the mother of the 19-year-old boy who went on the Titan with his father and lost his life. Now she's saying her son wanted to go and not terrified, and that she gave her son her seat. These are different stories. So we got to wait on this to see a little bit more what that truth is. Really confused me, to be honest with you. And now when I do Monday runes, I do much less. So here's a quote that I may have used before, but it is really profound, and it's Robin Williams, the great late Robin Williams said this. People don't fake depression. They fake being okay. Remember that. Be kind. Robin Williams was correct. People don't fake depression. They fake being okay. That means all of us need to pay attention to our friends. Maybe even ask questions. Be kind, he said. Remember this, he said. Now, along those lines, I found another quote. I had it in my book of quotes. I have thousands of quotes that I've been collecting for years, long before I started this YouTube. This is by Albert Camus, who was a French Algerian philosopher, author, dramatist, and journalist. He was the recipient of the 1957 Nobel Prize in Literature at the age of 44, the second youngest recipient. And he said, "Nobody realizes that some people extend tremendous energy merely to be normal." So very, very connected to Robin Williams. And I'm just, feeling the mental illness, the suffering, and the anguish all around. And instead of making it political today, I made it humanistic today. And I was just thinking about good evidence. And once again, it's very simple. Sometimes it's huge. This one is very simple. A friend of mine came to town from Chicago, and we went out for pancakes yesterday and had a great conversation. Hours and hours of conversation. It was so good to connect with a familiar, long-term friend, like-minded friend. And then this is personal, and we never know what's going to happen when we get excited about something. So I'm actually not getting super excited about this, although I'm very pleased. We'll just have to see. But on Father's Day, I got a whim to promote my book, The Comics Daughter. Oh, they're all over the place, but they're not ready. The Comics Daughter. Some of you have read it. And I promoted it on Twitter with, I think you saw my picture. I'm in a hat, and I'm carrying the book and saying things about the book and sharing a great review I had gotten from a colleague of the great Carl Reiner. And so I sent it out and copied like 4 people in the entertainment industry that I thought might be interested. People that are, I think that's a fire truck, that beeping. And a woman that I didn't copy, who is a veteran and very well known in the comedy community and has been around a while, ordered my book. And she wrote me, "Carrie, I can't wait to read this." So I mailed it to her, and I mailed a little letter because she splits her time between actually where I live in Studio City and Europe. She has a house in Europe. But she's in town right now. So it easily got delivered to her. And she's been dropping me little notes like we're more connected. And I actually met her once. I don't think she remembers it, but she and a friend of hers were in my neighborhood cafe where you order at the counter. And I walked in alone, stood next to them. I knew her friend from being in TV production, and the friend remembered me. I don't want to say names today because I don't want to jinx it. And they invited me to have breakfast with them. And I had breakfast with these 2 brilliant, funny women. And it was great. They were very kind. I don't think she remembers this, but anyway. So she can't wait to read it. She was the first to order it. And keep your fingers crossed for me. Maybe something will come of it. I wrote her a nice letter, gave her my phone number, and all this kind of stuff. So that's it for the runes. Let me go back to the weekly reading because it is a little confusing this particular week. Journey reversed. There is a quickening of developments, okay? And it does feel like Joe Biden is sort of halting, watching, because this is accelerated. And Putin may even be halting and watching. And hasty decisions may cause regrets, all right? That's pretty literal. This invasion was disruption, and we got the rune of disruption. And it speaks about disruption in a pretty positive way, which is change, freedom, invention. And now Ukraine has a little leg up. They've got a little leg up. They've got planning and deciding what they're going to do next, because Putin is a little preoccupied at the moment. And then protection, you know, your enemies, what do they say? Keep your enemies close, your friends close, but your enemies closer. That's a famous quote. Be careful about the associations you form right now. And, you know, that may be to all of us. I've had to review that myself in my private life. And be careful that you may become involved with people that are using you. So take personal responsibility for your choices. And that is always a good idea in life. And then we got the clarifier, fertility, which bodes positivity. It bodes, it says a new path, harmonizing, completion of beginnings. And honestly, I don't think the war is going to end like immediately, but I think this is a real turning point. That's what Carrie thinks. That's what my left ear thinks. And I didn't throw runes on it, but my left ear doesn't really think Prigozhin will be around long. And, you know, I hypothesized the other day that maybe Prigozhin and Putin were cooking up something together. And now I don't think so. It was just a little left-hand thought, you know. Now I want to say I don't really think so. And that's it, you know. I'm not always positive, and this is a mix. So we just have to watch carefully this week, pay attention, and anything huge, enormous, big, I'll be back. And I'm gonna end up sharing with you guys what my process is, how I arrive at these videos. I'm gonna share it on Patreon because I don't know that everybody's gonna be interested in it, because there's a very methodical process, which is kind of the reason why I'm not doing videos every day or even every other day. But who knows, that could speed up. And that's it. And you know, I rarely get fortunately, I rarely get nasty comments. I'm so happy about that. But I'll tell you, from the world of hypnosis and hypnotherapy, you don't, not that this was done purposely in the morning, but just, I thought, oh, this is a side note. Let me share this. There's a reason why you don't give bad news in the morning, because people are so suggestible, and it goes in even deeper than trauma. You got to let people wake up a little bit and get their bearings, and that's just good for everybody to know. Don't hit people first thing in the morning. But that person was just a nasty troll, and I didn't say anything back, because then if you do that, they own you. I just went, you know, delete. But I thank you for all your support. It just was like, whoa, that is bleeping nasty. But I thank you, and I've recovered. So thank you for the support. I'll see you soon. I hope you like my silly cowboy hat. I'm really happy with it, and I don't mind looking a little silly. So have a good week. Make peace. make memories, tune into your own intuition, and look for good evidence. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.